Hi, everyone. Let's get started with solving rational equations. So the first thing I'm going to say is when you first experience one of these, you're going to find that Desmos is going to graph a vertical line for you, which is actually the solution. So I'm not worried about you getting the answer right here because I know that there are tools that are going to get you the answer right. I'm worried about do you understand the process, and can you show me the work? Can you back up your answers with quality work and logic? So here we go. I'm gonna teach you how to do that. Also, testing Desmos does not allow you to do this for your end of grade test, end of course exam. So let's learn how to do this algebraically. All right. So this first one's what I call a level one equation. Okay. Hey, look, I'm bigger. I could make myself bigger. All right. So I got 1 minus 1 over x plus 1 equals negative 5x over x plus 1. All right. Now, the whole problem with these equations is that you have a denominator. All right. And very often with equations that have denominator, we simply multiply that denominator to both sides, and it is no longer a rational equation. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to multiply both sides by x plus 1. All right. And when I do that, I make sure that I multiply each term on the left side and on the right side by x plus 1. So I multiply the 1 by an x plus 1. I multiply this fraction by x plus 1. And I multiply the fraction on the right side by x plus 1. Now, the x plus 1 multiplied to the fractions is going to have a pretty cool effect, because what it's going to do is it is going to effectively cancel out those denominators. All right, to where you're just going to be left with, on the left side, this product, x plus 1, minus just that 1. And on the right side, I'm just going to be left with a negative 5x. All right, so you get to this point right here, and what you end up having is a linear equation, at least for these level 1 problems, a linear equation. So who would have known a rational equation is actually linear? Okay, so I get the equation x equals negative 5x. I add 5x to both sides, get 6x equals 0. And I get x equals 0 as my solution, which I knew from Desmos because Desmos was telling me this whole time. Graphs a vertical line at x equals 0. The answer is 0. All right, but now you have work to back that up with. All right, let's look at a second example. Okay, so second example right here. And by the way, you need to go back and verify that that is indeed a solution. All right, by substituting x equals 0 back into the equation, and you'll find that it works. All right, so here's a level 2 problem for you guys. All right, level 2. So if I have x minus x over x plus 2, and that's equal to 2 over x plus 2. So once again, I'm going to multiply by my denominator of x plus 2, and I'm going to do that to every bit of the expression. So I multiply x by x plus 2, and I multiply my second fraction, my second term, which is a fraction, by x plus 2, and I multiply the right side by x plus 2. And once again, you'll notice that any denominators of x plus 2 are going to be canceled. All right, which leaves me with x times x plus 2, which is x squared plus 2x. All right, you'll notice that this is quadratic. All right, minus this x, which remains, right? And on the right side, only a 2 remains. All right, so this is now a quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. All right, quadratic equations, not bad at all. What I'm going to do is I always set quadratic equations equal to 0. So I clean it up and set it equal to 0. When a quadratic equation is equal to 0, I can choose to factor it, use the quadratic formula if you don't know how to factor it, et cetera, et cetera. So I chose to factor it because it's pretty straightforward. And when I factor, I find the zeros. The zeros are x equals negative 2 and x equals positive 1. All right, so I get 2 solutions for this one. Once again, I'm going to check to see if any of these are extraneous. I should very quickly notice that negative 2 is extraneous because of the denominator in the original equation. It is a discontinuity. So x equals negative 2 is extraneous. It does not work. Only x equals 1 works, which, by the way, yes, Desmos was telling me the whole time that x equals 1, this vertical line, was the solution. So now you have a reason for that. You see that the difference between a level 1 problem and a level 2. In a level 1 problem, we ended up with a linear equation, while in a level 2 problem, we ended up with a quadratic equation. So hopefully you remember when I told you you're never going to get away from quadratic equations. They're always there. So knowing how to factor is a good thing, and quadratic formula is fantastic.